So because the world is in dire need of discourse and tools, I feel like people don't have enough tools to filter in the age of information, to actually filter good information from bad information, because now information is currency. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it's accurate, if it's right. What matters is people see it, people click at it, that makes somebody money. That's all people care about, because if you're a publication, if you're like you're in the business, you're either in the business of making money through information, or you have to make money to keep making information. It's I think it's very unrealistic to say like, oh, we're going to be the most boring, truthful, accurate news source there is, and expect people to go out and buy it and click on it and just say and have them be financially.
Seems like people are very attracted to conflict
But they are, because
and disasters.
yeah, but that's true.
And I feel
Nobody
like
cares
the
about
media
it.
outlets, they have found a way to monetize that and to, maybe weaponize that.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you-
those are very different tiers.
If you
but
allow me,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
I'm not denying that. That's definitely, those are, I feel like those are different tiers, and you're going to find examples of everything. But
Yeah.
mostly in this capital-driven society, I feel people are driven not just for the profit, but sometimes just for the breaking even. You have to do these things just so you can stay afloat, so you can keep doing the things that you want to do. And sometimes you just get lost in the game. So here we are. Hopefully this is going to be one of many discussions
so
that we have.
welcome to Woke Wars.
Yes. One other thing that I'd like to add is, like, I feel like there's a lot of tools that we should incorporate in our daily lives that are totally unbiased or uninfluenced by the content. It's about form, right? So there are logical tools, there's reasoning tools. It's important, I believe that's important to understand statistics, because there's a way to skew and lie with statistics, so we can believe certain things when we hear it. Oh, because 70% of something happens to 70% of the people. And what does that actually mean, And how can sometimes people have different statistics about the same thing, and
Right.
both persons can be right. Right, so nobody's actually lying, but they were talking about different things, and the subtlety, the nuance of the arguments, and the content of the information, for me, is very important. And I feel like we should, in the quest for the truth, we should find out what is right, not who is right. So it's not about, oh, I said, like, see, I was right and you weren't, and vice versa, but sort of be able to come out more educated and empowered to filter this information. And I don't have the tools. I know of the tools, and I feel like this is a great opportunity for to dive deeper and investigate and sort of like make actual real life world examples. Kind of like the fallacy game that we were talking about
The
the other
fallacy
day.
game, yeah.
Fallacy game.
I mean, it seemed to me like almost like a trap, to be honest, because you get all these different types of
Logical fallacies.
That you could apply to any conversation, that is out there. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a balance.
to an extent, yeah, there's a balance for sure. And I know how those guys can be like notorious for their way of debating. Or
Which guys are we talking?
Well, we were analyzing, he sent me a video on Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan, and the guy was applying those fallacies, those logical fallacies to their discourse, to their speech, to the things that they were saying. So I know, like Ben Shapiro, for example, he's known for using logical fallacies a lot, or for being very quick on his thought and very good at debating, which has a technique to it. So it doesn't really, if you win a debate, doesn't really mean that you were the smartest guy in the room. It doesn't really mean, it just meant that your argument was stronger, that you were able to convince more people than the other person. And there are techniques for that, like convincing techniques, So
yeah,
so he was just like exposing those fallacies in a way, but the way he was doing it, he basically just he took all the different types of logical fallacies,
or the most common. There's a bunch of them.
I don't know. It was
he listed, and this is a
there
channel.
was a lot of them. So anybody can deconstruct, like take a conversation, a long form conversation between two people, and apply those fallacies to
Right.
certain points of the conversation. Like anybody can fall into that trap even without knowing. So
Exactly. But that's the point. Like by being aware of a lot of logical fallacies, we can inform our argument and our
right,
argumentation in a way that we can kind of, if we want to be intellectually honest, or at least not fall, not go for these pitfalls, just by
yeah,
learning about them and being aware, will make us better thinkers in a
right,
way.
right.
And I think it's an interesting exercise, not because, of course, like if you think about what the Joe Rogan experience is, it's like a conversation. Like people are,
It's
but
basically what we're doing here,
it's
but
basically what we're doing.
with influent
Yeah, with famous people,
famous
not
people, influent
virtually
people,
unknown
and
people.
specialists, and from every possible area that
Yeah.
you know
But think about
they
the
can
sphere of
possibly
influence.
imagine.
There's like whether they like it or not, and whether Joe Rogan actually says, "Oh, we're an idiots. Don't listen to us," and he kind of like washes his hands clean. He's the biggest podcaster in the world,
Right.
and therefore a lot of people are gonna take a lot of what he says and usually, this makes sense, or this resonates with me, and he might, like any influencer,
So
he
you
might
think,
influence the opinion of people,
right?
and not always in the most accurate way, because he doesn't claim to be, so we don't need to hold him up to this standard, but it's like almost like an unintended
Right.
consequence of having too much reach and too much,
So his
uh,
voice has a
yeah, has weight in the
has a
world.
bigger weight
Yeah,
because more people listen to
and
him.
with great power comes great
But
responsibility,
yeah, but then there comes in the criteria from people to understand that he is the host and he's not really the specialist.